All right, so now we are going to handle our rewards here on our client. So this is the Unity game that I'm looking at here. This is my base game manager. When we play a piece here, we return this action drawer play piece VM, which is right here. And this includes some lines, and a line includes a line instance and some blocks. And we also want this to include some reward VM. Okay. So on the server side, when we are playing that piece, here, I want to, these are my reward BLLs. So right here, we're going to say a new reward VMs equals a new list of reward VM. And then for each var reward and rewards, I want to do a reward VMs dot add a new reward VM. Now this depends on the reward type. So we'll do this, and then we'll do a case reward lines BLL, reward colors BLL, and then also reward gems BLL. So up here, I want to do a reward VMs dot add a new reward lines VM. If I look at this DTO, does this thing have a reward instance has a reward type on it? So I want to select here my reward DTO. Like this. And these are going to be reward instance DTOs. Reward don't you just want to do reward DTOs dot add my reward now? And that should do it. So down here where you're passing your action, you want to do rewards is equal to your reward DTOs dot to array. Okay. And that's it. So now we should be sending our rewards to the game players if this is an online play piece. right here. Says I got 2 errors here. Add piece to board. Wants this to be a DTO. Right here, same thing. You're using them down here. Like that. Like that. And this init goes to an instance DTO, like that. So here, where you're calculating your rewards, these, we're going to pass this across to this calculate rewards. And now what I want to do is I want to create these. So I want to say if my reward DTOs does not equal to null, then you want to do one thing. Otherwise, we want to do all this. So when I do my reward DTOs here, the first one I want to do is I want to get this create reward lines SO, which is going to have a string of a ID. And this is a reward line SO ID. So we're going to do a for each var reward DTO and reward DTOs. I want to do a switch on my reward DTO dot reward type. So if it's a line, we're going to create this line awards like this, reward DTO dot ID, SO ID. Which is now a good. Well, we'll do that to string it. And then we'll do this. And that's it. And then we need to do the same thing for the colors and the gems. So here for colors, we're going to look at this, make a new one, pass in a string for my reward color SOID. And this is going to be my reward DTO dot reward SO like that, dot toString. And then we're going to create that right here. Now when you set your reward color.set properties, you're setting your tier type, your block color, and then your action. Which is a this. And the other properties are the tier type and the color type. Now, when I received these things, I need to make sure that I do this for the right type. So what I can do here is I can do a switch on my reward DTO. And then I can do this as a case reward lines instance DTO. And then a case reward colors instance DTO. And then a reward gems instance DTO. Like that, and then like this one here. Okay. And then the last one is this. We want to add it in here. So when I look at this gems, we're going to do the same thing, but with an SOID. Reward gem SOID. Which is going to be your reward DTO.reward SOID.toString. And then this is going to be your gem type. Okay. That'll add all of your rewards. And then down here, we want to return them. Now we have one more problem, which is that on the TCP manager, when you are deserializing this action type called when you have a VM type here of type, what am I sending? I'm sending across this here. Where is it? Because what we're coming in from the server is going to be a action for play piece VM, which has these rewards in it. But it's not going to know what type it is. So it's not going to know when it deserializes it which type this reward is. So if I look at a Newtonsoft, we want to do a polymorphic deserialization. We're going to create a converter in here. And I'm going to call this a reward instance converter. Just reward converter. Okay, and I want this to be a JSON converter. And we need to have a couple of functions in here. Can convert. So in this one, we're going to do a return a type of reward instance DTO dot is assignable from object type. And then in my read, in my can write, or am I write JSON? I don't see the write JSON. So when you read it, I want to do a jObject.load. Of my reader. And then I want to say is lines is a bool JO of this is a reward type of my reward type. Like that. Then I want to switch on this. and I want to have this as a reward instance DTO, like that. And then we're going to deserialize each one of these. Like that. And then I want to do a serializer.populate my jo.create reader and then my reward instance. And then I want to return my reward instance. That should do it. Now, where do I load that? So I do that over here when I'm doing this piece. And I want to get a new reward converter. Which is a just one of those. So let's see what happens now. When I deserialize this from the server. So on the one that'll hook up to Unity, I want to look at my TCP manager. And where I deserialize it right here. We're going to give it a play. Let it connect to the server. We look good. We do a open play. And you can see everything has started. And then when we play a piece, if I look at my rewards, we don't have any, which is fine. We want to attach this to GemMores, so wait for that to attach. Take just a second, or no time at all. So now this time we're looking at our incoming messages. We get our actions. It worked. And I don't have any rewards, which is fine. Okay, I've got to get all the way to where I can create one. Here we go. And now I look at my action and it says false. We need to add an exception, EX here, restart it, try again. Looks like it never made it there. So let's keep going. We need this to attach. I'm worried that this is held up. No, it wasn't. We just have to be patient. Wait for this to finish. We'll give it about 2 minutes. It should connect. It always does, so just give it a second here. Waiting for it to connect. Usually takes about 2 minutes or less. Can't force it, just have to wait. There it is. Kick through. Okay, that worked. We're going to make a line. And this one should do it. I can't get it. We should be able to do it on this one here. Here we go. All right. So we're going to send this to there. We have 4 rewards, 2 for gems. Yep. And 1 for colors and 1 for lines. Now, when we look at this, and I look at my data, I'm going to pull this over into a JSON beautifier so I can see what it is. Here are my 4 rewards, and they do have a reward type. So when we step into this, my type of object type, action drawer, play piece, VM. That's going to fail because that value is null. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. So instead of passing this object, I'm going to pass a string array. And this needs to be a string. And this needs to be a JSON convert.serialize object of this reward. Now on the front end, second. On the front end, this is where I want to deserialize it. So if I look back here at the TCP manager, copy this, move this over, and here I want to say var rewards equals a new list of reward VM. And then for each one of my items in c.rewards, I want to deserialize that. That's a reward instance DTO. We're going to do a rewards.add. We're going to deserialize my type of reward instance DTO and we're going to deserialize my item, which we're going to call JSON. And this is going to be rewards. Let's try this again. Give it a start. Okay, and back over here. Give it a start. Attach it to Unity. And give it a start. Come on. Usually takes a minute and a half. Give it just a second here to get through this, and then we'll be good to go. There it is. Well, it acted like it, but it didn't move forward, so I wonder what that was about. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right. It's running. Open play. Loads the game. Then we're looking at our deserialization as we go. And then here we go. We should get a reward. We get my action, which has 2 rewards. Which looks right. And then it's going to kick on. Why is happening to my displays? And now it says value is null. Well, that can't be right. So let's try it again. And on the back end, we can get rid of this. And on the front end, we can try again. If this doesn't work, we're going to do it a different way. The more manual, regular way that we're used to doing it. Time-tested, mother-approved way. Great, I can't fit any of those in there. There we go. Now we should get my rewards. For each one of these, we're going to check to see if my type is assignable. We're going to read this, which has a capital reward type. Try it again. Man, at one point, the Unity debugger was slick. And at some point, it turned into this total pile of crap. One there. One there. Go there. I have a piece. This should give me a line. I have 2 rewards. We deserialize them. The first one is a lines instance, and the second one is a colors instance. So it is working now. We got our 2 tiers. Come on, microphone. And so now, when we kick through, you can see that we got our 1 line, but I didn't get my second one. Let me try it again without the debugger, so at least we can actually try it. One, 2, 3. And we should get 1 for the 1 line and 2 of the diamond gems. When I look at my tiers, when I look at where that was assigned here on the front end, where that gets invoked from the UI script, this says this is an integer, but it should be this multiplier. So when I look at this reward gems SO, points, which should be a float. And this is called point modifier. Second. Okay. So now this should be doing the float, and it should be adding the times for the multiplier. And that should be working correctly. Now, I don't really like this converter. So if I look back here, It's in my game manager online. Here. What you could do is you could do this as a var base reward equals a JSON convert.deserialize object of a type reward instance DTO of type JSON. And then you could switch on your base reward and do a case, do a switch on your base reward.reward type. And then just do this right here as a reward lines instance and get rid of the converter. And this is colors, and this is gems. And now all of my objects are being created on the server. And then I'm passing in those rewards. Looks good. So now when I play the game, and we get a line, just one line. Let's get some with gems. So this should give me three green gems, and it does, times 4. And if I look here at my rewards for gems of type 4, I thought it, let's look at that one more time just to make sure it's pulling the right one, because that looked funny. Two. So this is 4. We should get a times 3, and I don't. I got a times 4, which is a 6. So on my back end, we're going to reload it, try it again. remember, we need to get rewards for this to work. How in the hell did I get this blue gem? I've got a 0% chance of getting a blue gem. That doesn't make sense at all. Okay, so we have got 3. So when I look here, my lines are 1. My line reward is 100 points. My block colors say that my rewards here, say that my points are 0, which is right. And we want to go down to the gem types. So this is a gem type of diamond, which there aren't any. Okay, hey Game Boy Link, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to pop them into the chat. This one is a ruby. This one is my amber, and it says we have 3. So my reward gems has a quantity gems of 3 and a point modifier of 2.5. And then you're going to create this guy with this point modifier of 2.5. So on this side, let's run it again. So this time, we're going to set my properties here. And for each one of my rewards, my colors have 0 points. My gems have a point modifier of 2.5. But this modifier is set to 3. So this doesn't need to have that ceiling to F. And the same thing goes for here, this needs to be a float. And let's reload it. And this time everything should work. So we want to get these 3 gems, and it should give me 2.5. And it does, 2.5. So now everything is working off of the back end. These points for the user, those are being calculated here. By this number of points, which is looking at the number of points that you have per board, which is summing the number of points from this object. So this looks correct. So we are done with this task. So what I'm going to do is in here, I'm going to go ahead and make a commit to GemWars24. And we're going to say my time is 3 hours, and my comment is scores are generated on server for online games and pushed to client for reporting. We'll stage all that and commit that out. Now, one of the bugs that I'm dealing with, we want to look at my development branch and merge 24 in. Push that out. And then over here, we want to set this to be done. Now, one of the bugs that I have is when we do the versus mode, when I receive my game, here, this is what I want to look at. I want to look at my draw responses from this because for some reason I'm getting the wrong number of draws for the computer. See how it says hand is 3? But when he plays a piece, it doesn't drop the hand limit. So let's fix that really quickly. One more second. Okay, so this time when I run it, and I do a practice, it's not breaking. Because he's definitely getting 4 pieces when he's starting. If I was to look at my Gem Wars when we received that game, here, this one. Let's attach it to Unity and try again. I was looking at the wrong solution. And I do a practice. Now here, we're going to look at my 2 game players. And my second one has a player which is an AI. The number of draws is 3. So what I want to do is I want to get my draw responses here, which are 3. We're going to create my original drawers, which are 3. And then my available pieces. So we each have 3. Now we init it. We're going to set my hand limit. And my available drawers is 3. So that's right. So where that piece is being played, I want to get my second game player, the one which is a AI. And then I'm going to remove my piece from the drawer. And I have 3 drawers. One where the piece is null. Which means that on the UI, I want to see this. So this time my opponent game player If I look at their available drawers, there's 3. That one's got a piece, that one's got a piece, and that one's got a piece. So let's stop this. We need to go back. Try it again. And this time on my AI movement, I'm going to pause it right there. Okay, let's try this again. So we give it a run. We do a practice. Every move it should pause now. Okay, it's making my movement. It didn't, we don't have it attached here. Wait for that. Stop there. Let that reload. Give it a second to attach. Why is that still? Man, I think my my switchboard is broken. Damn, that sucks. Let this attach. Dun, 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 dun. Bop, 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 bop. Usually takes about a minute and a half. And what my thoughts are is that you're never firing your set hand limit. See, I don't think this is ever being set. So let's give it a try. Start up the back end, start up the front end. Let it reconnect. And we'll do an open play or a practice. Okay, my opponent hand limit are 3 because I currently have 3 pieces. And now when the opponent plays, here, that's because you have it backwards. So when he plays the next piece, see the hand limit hasn't been removed from the drawers yet. But it works there. So let's kill these breakpoints so that he can just play. And now when I play a piece, it updates my hand limit immediately. So the problem is when you add this piece to the board, you're doing it here. But you've never removed that piece out of the drawer yet. It's almost like this should fire it. So here, when we add this piece to the board, you're firing this piece placeit event, which is here, and then you're setting your hand limit. Just a second. But if you look at where that's played, in your drawer script where you're doing place piece, no. If we look at where you add this to the board, your drawer is being used when you do play piece. For your action, play piece, and knit. Just to set the drawer. So I really think you can just do this. Let's try it. Three pieces. And then when they play, now it says that piece was never set. So what I can do is I can say that this is my piece. Like that. We're going to try it again. Wait for a piece to get played. There it is, and now my hand limit is working correctly. And that's that. So let me go ahead and make that commit here. We're just going to say corrected hand limit for opponent when playing online. We'll just stage and push that out. So I think where we're at now is we have all of the rewards and everything, as well as the calculation of the scores, all occurring on the back end. Oh, let me check one thing. When I looked at my game player board on the back end, you have these number of moves, and that's where this sum of your points is coming from, which is on your match player. Number of points. So on the UI, where we're setting these score, match player current is right. And then for the practice, opponent is a match player. That is also correct. So we're in great shape. What we're going to do tomorrow is that we are going to add our computer purchase logic onto the server. So at the moment, you have to be offline when you're playing it, and then the computer opponent will purchase pieces, and we need to have that logic on the server. And once we do that, I think that's almost all the logic that we have remaining from server side. So I have a couple of things on here for, like, we have to clean up the queuing system for TCP messages. We need to have it so if you disconnect and you reconnect, it downloads the game again. We want to persist the games if the servers go down. We need to do things for the app where we add some images and we add some options screens. We have some code cleanup, kind of a lot, because we've kind of just been pushing through to get this project done. And so where I'm at now is I really would like to do some code cleanup on the front end and on the back end. But we can probably start to try to get a build pushed out pretty soon. So Thanks again for staying with me today. If you have any questions, make sure you pop them into our chat here or at discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. I put all these videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. And until tomorrow morning, have a great rest of your day. See ya.